Hello and welcome. In today's discussion, we're going to explore an important topic that impacts basically every single person in the United States, and that important topic is energy use. Uh, let's dive in. Um, the first question I'm going to talk about is what is our energy consumption in the USA? How much of it comes from fossil fuels, renewable energy, and nuclear energy? Um, Fossil fuels, the largest share of our energy comes from fossil fuels, and that makes up about 80% of total energy consumption. This includes stuff like coal, gas, and oil. Fossil fuels are burned to produce electricity, heat homes that we live in, and power vehicles that we drive. They are actually relatively cheap, but they are a major source of greenhouse gases, and that contributes to climate change, which is pretty bad for our environment. Um, the next thing would be renewable energy, and renewable sources such as wind, solar, hydroelectric, and geothermal energy have been growing rapidly, especially in the recent couple years. And this would probably be about 12 to 14% of the energy and that we use in the USA. And unlike fossil fuels that I just previously talked about, renewable energy sources are sustainable and have minimal environmental impact once they're finally set up. And solar and wind are the most common renewable energy sources. I do remember when I was in advanced placement environmental science class back in high school, my teacher really emphasized that reduced greenhouse gas emissions was important because renewable energy sources produce significantly lower carbon dioxide emissions compared to fossil fuels, which helps combat that awful climate change that we keep hearing about. And also, we have cleaner air by reducing the reliance on fossil fuels, and the renewable energy contributes to cleaner air quality that we breathe in, and sustainable energy sources are replenished and they can be utilized long term without that depletion of those resources. And then the next type of energy would be nuclear energy, and nuclear power provides about 8 to 9% of our electricity, and that's important because nuclear energy works to generate heat, and it's also used to produce electricity. And although it doesn't produce carbon emissions, nuclear energy does produce radioactive waste, and that's very important to know about because that poses a lot of long-term disposal challenges for the USA. The next question I'm going to talk about are what are some of the potential costs and benefits of each kind of energy. Um, Fossil fuels, the benefits. Fossil fuels are very inexpensive, and infrastructure for extraction, refinement, or distribution is well established. This provides a reliable, on-demand type of energy. The main drawbacks are environmental, honestly. It's not good for the environment. Burning fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide into our environment, contributing to global warming, air pollution, and health issues. And, you know, they're not good for the environment, and that's a big thing in the USA right now. Renewable energy, the benefits are renewable energy sources like wind and solar are environmentally friendly and provide sustainable power. The cost of production has been dropping over time due to technological advances, and renewables can be locally sourced, reducing the dependence on foreign energy. And uh, costs, the initial type of cost for renewable energy systems like solar panels or wind turbines can be high, like we see when we drive by those wind turbines. It takes a lot to put those in place and build them actually, and they also depend on the weather conditions like sunlight or wind, which makes them a little less reliable. in certain areas without those backup processes. And then the next energy would be nuclear energy, and the benefits would be nuclear power is very efficient and produces large amounts of electricity without emitting carbon. It's you know it's a stable, low emission source of energy, and it's very ideal for you know demand in our country. And the cost, nuclear power has high operational costs, especially in terms of safety and waste disposal. Managing this nuclear waste, which unfortunately remains hazardous for thousands of years, presents a significant environmental challenge. And the third question would be, should the government invest in renewable energy and electric vehicles infrastructure, or allow the market to solve this issue? Um, I would say that it would be important to talk about government investment. Many experts argue the government should play an active role in promoting clean energy and electric vehicle infrastructure. There's several reasons for this, such as market failures. Clean energy technologies are still relatively new and require a lot of initial investment. Um, Environmental responsibility is another reason. This is given the urgent need to address climate change. Government action which can speed up the transition to a greener energy economy. And lastly, not lastly, but infrastructure would be another important one, because a nationwide electric vehicle infrastructure, which includes charging stations like Tesla uses, and requires coordinated planning and significant investment, which is beyond the reach of individual companies around the USA. And market solutions. Some people really argue the fact that the free market is already making significant strides toward clean energy, and the price of solar panels and electric vehicles has dropped dramatically on companies as they start to come up with new ideas, and as people choose to use renewable energy. And the more that they want to choose renewable energy or electric vehicles, the more that other companies are going to invest in those technological advancements in order to support that supply and demand type of relationship between the producer and the consumer. So, in conclusion, it's very important to talk about these topics and reassess and reevaluate our energy use throughout the United States. And um, it would be very important for the government to really focus on speeding up the process and the transition into renewables, uh, and have electric vehicles, and really focus on utilizing our renewable resources and renewable energy in the best way possible. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope you found my discussion very important and very informational, and I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you.